I hope you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see it, Ronald.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. You can put it in presentation mode, I think.
That's right. There we go. Great. One moment. I think people need to see me. Right. Can you see my face?
Yes, we can also see your face right now. Super.
You can also see that I'm putting on my best necktie.
Exactly. For a farmer, I think that's a big thing.
First of all, I would like to register my sincere thanks and appreciation with Ronald and the whole team at Enterprise Uganda for having given me the opportunity to share a few highlights in the world of organic farming. I've already been introduced, so I don't have to say much, but at this point, I just want to say I feel excited that on a day-to-day basis, I see many people that want to venture into organic farming. They want to establish a farm. They want to build a business. They want to get into the market. They want to offer a service. They want to establish a partnership with us. And I have seen a lot of interest that Ugandans have expressed in joining the world of organics. And through this presentation, I will be making a compelling case for organic farming in this country. Again, given the supremacy of Uganda on the African continent in the world of organics, but also in the international market, we have a lot to offer. And so it's an opportunity for every Ugandan that has a passion for organic farming and wants to start a business and wants to become a millionaire to be part of the organic movement. I have been associated with the organic movement since I was at the university, where I had the opportunity to lead the student movement as president of Makerere University Farmers Association. And one of the things I used to do was to organize exposure visits. So I had the opportunity to visit some of the organic farmers. At that time, the late Johnny Vili in Mukono was involved in vanilla growing. And he caught my attention. His activities on the farm caught my attention because they were predominantly organic. And of course, that was at a time when the vanilla prices then in the early 2000s were high and there was a lot of excitement. So that triggered my passion for organic farming. And I have since had different assignments and mostly related to organic farming. So I just want to go through what I'm going to talk about. And I will briefly talk about Nogam, the organization I work for and that I've worked with for a long time. I worked with Nogam for 10 years, then left and then returned 3 years ago. And then I will walk through organic agriculture, the definitions, just 2 definitions, and try to simplify it for my audience to understand. I'll walk through the organic market trends. I'll share some facts and figures. I will highlight Uganda's current position in the world of organics. I will highlight some of the key opportunities along the value chain, the organic value chain. And then I will go through a few strategies and I will conclude. And I promise in the next 30 to 40 minutes, I'll be done. And I want this session to be really interactive. So please take your pen and a notebook and note everything that I will highlight so we can have a conversation. Now, Nogam is an umbrella organization that was started in 2001, basically to bring together farmers, processors, exporters, traders, civil society organizations, community-based organizations, government parastatals, and all other actors that have an interest in developing organic agriculture. Our membership has grown from about 50 individuals when we started in 2001 to now over 360 organizations that represent over 2 million smallholder farmers who are involved in growing different crops and in poultry and fish farming and other value chains. However, only about 400,000 of these farmers who are practicing organic farming are certified to the different local and international standards. More than 90% of these are certified to the international standards. We started off as a response to the unfolding organic market opportunities. At that time, it was mostly the EU organic market opportunities where buyers were walking in and asking for all sorts of organic products, and they were convinced that Uganda was one of those countries that could supply. Again, if you know about Uganda, we have farmers, 80 to 90% of whom are smallholder farmers who are involved in practicing traditional agriculture, and traditional farming is very close to what we call typical farming, organic farming practices. And so as a country with this rich tradition of organic by default farming, we are in a very, very good position to integrate as many farmers and as many actors in the organic industry. And as you'll be seeing later, we will focus on the trends and look at what is happening and how we can position ourselves on the global scene. So 4 pillars, one of them, as I said, being the most important, which is linking our members to local, regional, and international markets. And along with that, we build their capacity in standards and certification to make sure they comply with the different local and international organic standards, but also other complementary standards like fair trade, global gap, HACCP, and many others. We also build capacity, and so we offer training services, we engage in research, we coordinate research. We don't do the research ourselves, but we work with research institutions, academic institutions that conduct this research and offer training and academic, services. And then last but not least, on the policy front, we engage with government, we work very closely with government to put in place an enabling environment. And that has been our full-time engagement from the time we started off. Now, a quick look at organic agriculture. I mean, why is everyone in the world excited about organic agriculture? It's a buzzword that you find, even those that don't understand it using it. They label their products, in some cases illegally, especially where the markets are not well regulated, where you don't have a strong legal framework, where you don't have enforcement to restrict people in as far as labeling is concerned. We have a number of definitions, and you can understand it from different perspectives. But there are two key definitions that I would like to highlight here. One is by the IFOM, the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements, which is like the NOGAM of the whole world. And this organization is headquartered in Germany. And in 2008, at the General Assembly, where members had gathered, they came up with a common definition of organic agriculture. And they agreed that it's a production system that sustains the health of soils, the health of soils. It's a production system that takes care of the different ecosystems and the people. It relies on ecological processes, biodiversity, and cycles adapted to local conditions, rather than the use of inputs with adverse effects. Organic agriculture combines tradition, what people know. It starts from what people know. Tradition, innovation, right? And then science. It is not primitive. I hear some people saying organic agriculture is primitive, it's backward. No, there is real science in organic agriculture, and I will demonstrate later. And we have seen that some of the latest technologies in agriculture are actually in organic agriculture to benefit the shared environment and promote fair relationships and good quality of life for all involved. Now, let me quickly walk through the FAO definition, the Food and Agriculture Organization. It's a holistic production management system that promotes and enhances agro-ecosystem health, including biodiversity, biological cycles, and social and soil biological activity. It emphasizes the use of management practices in preference to the use of off-farm inputs, external inputs, taking into account that regional conditions require locally adapted systems. And this is accomplished using, where possible, agronomic, biological, and mechanical methods, as opposed to using synthetic materials to fulfill a specific function within the system. So these are the two and most important definitions. And these speak to the 4 principles of organic farming: the principle of health, the principle of ecology, the principle of fairness, and the principle of care. Health looks at the health in the soil, because life begins in the soil, and that life supports the plants and supports animals, and these interact in such a way that you cannot separate the health of the soil from the health of plants and animals and other entities within the ecosystem. The principle of ecology relates to the environment, and we are required as organic farmers, as actors, to mimic nature, to borrow leaves from nature, work with nature, and interact with nature very well in a sustainable manner. The principle of care looks at the current, taking care of the current and future generations, and fairness relates to people, how you deal with people, how you deal with other members in the ecosystem, environment, animals, how you treat animals. Animals also have rights, and others, all right? Now, let's dive into the organic markets, because as I said from the very beginning, our orientation towards the market takes supremacy over everything else, especially if you're a commercial farmer, you are a business whose objective, of course, as expected, is to make money, maximize profits, minimize costs. This is one of the lucrative areas. In fact, in agribusiness, it's the most lucrative, subsector of agribusiness. And the facts and figures speak clearly. There is a clear trend in the growth, interesting trend in the growth of the demand and the consumption of organic products. And over the last 10 years and over the last 3 decades, we have seen double-digit growth rates. We have seen, even during COVID, when the whole world was on its knees, the organic sector grew highest And the reason is that people are more conscious about their health. They paid attention to the fact that they needed to boost their immunity. And that's one of the key reasons why the organic market size has been growing every year. Issues of food safety, people are deeply concerned about the safety of the food that they eat. When you go to some of the local markets here, you go to Kalere and you find all these tomatoes that are pasted with all sorts of chemicals, some of which were sprayed shortly before harvesting. You have every reason to worry about food safety and your health. People are concerned about the environment. It has been a lot that humans have done to destroy the environment. We have issues of climate change that are impacting heavily on farmers and other activities. And then we have social concerns. These are the issues that have been driving the growth in the organic markets. And global sales, according to the statistics, the latest statistics released by the Research Institute of Organic Agriculture, FIBO, which is based in Switzerland, indicate that in 2021, we had 125 billion euro sales, worth of sales. And this is up from about 80 billion euros. Now, let me quickly show you this slide. And this slide is taken from the latest report of FIBO, released in February this year. Now, when you look at this slide, it gives a summary of what is happening in the market. Clearly, you will see, and I'll take you through, you see a growing trend in terms of demand, but also we see supply increasing. We see more and more farmers joining the industry. We see more and more agricultural land being converted to organic. We have seen, for instance, and this is what puts Uganda on the map, we have seen Uganda integrate more and more farmers from the time we got the first certified, formal certified organic project in Uganda in 1993, where we had about 10,000 farmers. We saw that number grow in a record time, and it has reached over 400,000 smallholder farmers who are certified to international standards. And this places Uganda on the African map as the country with the highest number of certified farmers, and on the global map as the country with the second highest number of certified farmers after India. I think you can see, I hope you can see, in the middle, you'll see number of producers, the top 3 countries, where you see Uganda coming next to India, and then Ethiopia following. And then we have the organic market on the other hand. You've seen that USA accounts for nearly 50% of the global organic sales. And so that is a very important market, and that explains why many of our exporters also attain certification against the USDA NOP, National Organic Program standard. And then in Europe, the EU bloc as a whole, EU bloc, is also almost in the same range as the US, close to. So when you combine the EU bloc and USA, these two blocks account for over 90% of the global organic sales. So these are the most important international markets for organic products. But that doesn't mean that other markets are not important. We've seen a lot of growth in other emerging markets. We've seen a lot of demand in Japan. We've seen a lot of demand in China, in South Korea. We've seen many buyers in the Middle East and many of our exporters targeting that market. We've seen, of course, in North America, Canada. We've seen even in Africa, in Uganda, you see many organic shops, you see supermarkets that are stocking organic products, farmers markets that exclusively sell organic products. There are many initiatives that are going on even to push the drive in the market. And as you can see, we have Germany as the most important market in Europe in terms of the size of the market, and then followed by France, and there are many others, Italy, Netherlands, and many others. In terms of agricultural land, again, supply has also grown on the basis that there's increased production. But what we've noted is that the rate at which the organic demand grows by far outstrips the rate at which supply, is responding. So this gives you an insight into the market as someone that wants to venture into farming, that wants to build an organic business. This is clearly an opportunity where you will be part of a sector that has increasing returns, where the demand has grown despite different shocks that we have seen in the recent past. So just to give you a snapshot of Uganda's position currently, we export as of 2021 products worth $159 million, and this is up from $50 million in 2016, 2017. And as I've already said, we have about 400,000 certified farmers, and this is up from about 210 in 2016. The number of certified projects has also grown from over 40 to now over 70. And we see a broad range of products from fruits and vegetables, crops. We've seen many, companies that are dealing in organic coffee, cocoa, processed fruits, many entrants that are drying fruits, that are processing fruit pulp. I'll be later highlighting one of them as a clear demonstration that one can get into this space and succeed. We have seen many exporters, many farmers getting into the spices, value chain, vanilla, ginger, cardamom. We have chili and many others. Oil crops. I have seen big agribusinesses in Uganda, like Mukwano, like MMP Agro, Nile Agro, getting into the organic space. I have also seen farmers cooperatives that are organized and are vertically integrated. They grow, they bulk, they clean, they package and sell oil crops. But we also see a lot of value addition. Well, the raw materials, sunflower, soybeans, sesame, increasingly being processed into different oils. Value addition. We see a lot of value addition. A whole range of inputs, certified inputs. It is now possible to do organic agriculture even on a large scale. People used to say, oh no, it's for smallholder farmers, strictly for the peasants. This talk does not hold anymore. It's a reality that we have big companies like Amathion, for instance, in the north, that have square miles of land and certified. They have different products and they are exporting. We have farmers cooperatives in the excess of tens of thousands that are involved in growing different crops. So you have small, medium, and large farmers. And we have the solutions, a whole range of inputs that will target crops. But the good news is that we also have probiotics and other products for dairy, for poultry, and fish. I saw someone introducing themselves as a business person dealing in fish products. So we have products for aquaculture. And very interestingly, government is very much in support of organic agriculture. And they have demonstrated that by approving the National Organic Agriculture Policy which has been disseminated in all parts of the country. And we're now working on a bill that should see Uganda as one of Africa's countries with a strong, regulatory environment that supports the growth of the organic sector. Now, let me quickly highlight some of the opportunities at the different levels of the value chain. I'll start from the processing and export, the higher notch, the higher levels of the value chain. And as I said, we have a whole range. I mean, the shopping list is big, from coffee to fruits and vegetables, cocoa, oil crops, spices, dried fruit, fruit pulp, herbs and teas, to mention but a few. Over 70 product categories now in the country, different products. And I have seen, as I said, many companies that are investing in processing. On the right, you see that picture. It's one of our members that got into this processing business only about 3 years ago. They started from scratch with not so much experience in agribusiness, in farming, or even in processing agricultural products. But they worked very closely with us and other institutions and experts to establish this state-of-the-art processing facility for fruit pulp. And this is one of the biggest, companies now in this space, processing organic fruit, organic pineapple fruit pulp, as well as concentrate. And that's what they started with. They are also adding value to some of our products like the mango, the local variety that everyone had sort of thought is a reject on the international market. If you test their pulp, it's one of the best that you'll find. And they sell to different, customers locally, in the Middle East and also internationally. We see a lot of interest for this mango, but in the processed form, that of course unlocks a lot of potential for, and they have impacted on the lives of many smallholder farmers that used to, simply look on as the mango fruits fall off the trees and rot. And you'll be seeing later. It's one of the success stories that we've seen over the recent past. I could highlight many, but just to give you an indication of what has happened. Now, we also have many entrants in the market that are still even in the process of certification that have invested in processing dried fruit. And there's a lot of innovation you can imagine and targeting different markets, the North American market, the EU and others. These are just a few. Just for you to see that the opportunities are enormous. Now, the farming, there are many opportunities in the farming space, with farmers venturing. That company that I've just highlighted in the previous slide is currently looking for organic pineapples. They can't get enough. They have broken into the market. The market is demanding huge quantities. Their daily processing capacity is 4 metric tons per hour, and that gives them, a lot of capacity to process. But the fruits are not yet there, and I will explain why. And now we're working with farmers, with integrating more and more farmers and getting them certified so that they can meet the demand. That's just one. We've seen a lot of interest even in the oil seeds, more demand for sesame, for processing, sesame. So you can be rest assured that when you come to us, we'll give you information on what you can do in the farming space and make money. You can also bulk. You can do trading and work with different farmers and make money. All right. We also have opportunities in the retailing, hospitality, and the tourism spaces. That picture that you see is a picture of the actors, best actors that were recognized at the during the Organic Agriculture Week, where we had a national dialogue on organic fertilizers. And in here on the left, that gentleman, second left, represents Carrefour, which is one of the biggest supermarket chains in Uganda. And they were awarded for being the leading supermarket that is stocking organic products, you know. So you can invest in opening a supermarket. You can invest in reaching out to supermarkets, you know, to stock these products, and you can make money. We have seen mushrooming shops, healthy shops that are selling organic products. Every day you see a new shop. Every year you see new shops that are specifically labeled, you know, organic, and they are selling a range of organic products. We see a lot of interest from some of the restaurant owners. They are looking for organic materials. A year ago, I received a call from one of the eco-lodges, and they were looking for organic fruits and vegetables for their clients who come from, you know, across the globe. We have farmers markets that are exclusively selling organic products. You can start one and make money. We have schools that are promoting, you know, organic production, you know, fruit gardens, small gardens for vegetables, for fruits, but they also demand different items, organic products. Then in the input space, as I already said, there is an opportunity in manufacturing organic fertilizers, organic pesticides, fungicides. There is an opportunity in supplying irrigation kits, micro irrigation kits. We already have a partner that is supporting our farmers to, you know, to manage their water using irrigation, small irrigation kits that are really, really affordable. And we have many that are in the business of distribution. They don't manufacture. They either buy from a manufacturer or import, and they are selling organic inputs. And we have many entrants. We have agents, again, at different levels, stockists. We have those that are involved in training, inspection and certification services. Many are offering transportation services, warehousing, and product testing services. Now, as I reach the conclusion, we have quite a number of strategies that we are deploying as a country to be able to tap into these lucrative organic markets. We have recently launched our strategic plan 2023-2027 that guides our actions on how to grow the organic sector in Uganda, how to build partnerships, how to support farmers, how to support processors, how to support exporters. And I just wanted to say that you need, if you want to get into this space, you need to identify your area of interest. Where is your passion? I've met many people that say, no, I can't be a trader. My passion is in farming, and they are profoundly involved in farming practices, and they do it with passion, even when sometimes things seem to be taking long. You see them, you know, patiently waiting. There are others that don't want to get into the farming space. There are those that simply want to be processors. And there are those that simply want to facilitate, you know, do brokerage. So you need to identify your area of interest. And secondly, seek advice from the experts. Don't look any further than Nogam, the organic umbrella, the voice and leader of organic actors in Uganda, with over 20 years organic industry experience in Uganda, and having emerged as one of Africa's role model organic movements, we have a lot of expertise that we have built. People, individuals, institutions that we work with, member training institutions that can help you get started. And joining our membership would be a perfect starting point for you to, network with other, with experts and professionals that can help you get started. We have different partnerships, and I would like to highlight that very soon we'll be launching our academy, that we dubbed the Nogam Academy, that will offer different kinds of services, support businesses, micro, medium, and micro, small, and medium enterprises. And we want to do that with different partners. And one of the partners that we'll be working very closely with is Rutico. And their role is to basically find individuals or businesses or people that want to start a business in organic farming or in the food systems space. And they have lined up all different kinds of activities to support as many farmers, as many entrepreneurs as possible. And we'll be working very closely with them to make this happen over our strategic phase. Now, you need to establish a certifiable quality management system that guarantees organic integrity and against which you can attain certification. And there are two schemes of certification that are recognized internationally. We have the third-party certification that we commonly refer to as ICS, or Internal Control System. And this one is offered by internationally accredited certification bodies that will come and inspect and establish whether your operation complies with the standards or not, and they will give you their decision on whether you qualify to be organic or there are gaps that you need to fill. And we also have, and this is very expensive. It's one of the limitations for organic actors. It's the reason why not all the organic farmers are certified to international standards. And again, we are exploring partnerships and working with different institutions, government, private, to ensure that we invest in this area and make it easy for as many farmers and entrepreneurs to attain certification. The second form of certification that is recognized is second-party certification, which we commonly call the Participatory Guarantee System, PGS, which is locally focused, and this focuses on local markets basically. We're talking about Uganda, East Africa, and it's participatory in nature. Stakeholders come together, they do the inspection, they identify gaps, they give advice, and four kinds of stakeholders. You have the farmers themselves, the trainers or extensionists, you have the local leaders, you have the consumers, the buyers that are interested to buy from there. For instance, if Carrefour or Capital Shoppers is interested in, let's say, sourcing a product from Luero, and they specifically need, let's say, pineapple, and they want to buy from farmers who are certified PGS, they'll be involved in the process of verifying and inspecting the farms. It builds trust, it promotes knowledge sharing, and again, it's very, very much trusted because each of these stakeholders will play their role, and it's upon the decision of these four stakeholders that Nogamu will ratify the actions and decisions and offer or issue an organic certificate. We are mandated to offer certification for PGS. And last but not least, I encourage you to join associations, networks. We have many associations, civil society organizations that are training in organic agriculture in Uganda, again, networked with us or within our membership. And wherever it is convenient, please, it would be good, because there are benefits that accrue to that kind of networking or associating. You get exposure, knowledge sharing, access to finance, and other things that you otherwise not do on your own. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to highlight that there is a high demand for organic products locally, regionally, and internationally. Organic agriculture is exciting. It is trending. I wanted to use the words of one of the young people. It is sexy, if you like. It offers social, economic, and environmental benefits. We conducted a study recently that established that many of the young people in Uganda are getting into the consumption of the organic products. We have enormous opportunities that exist at different levels of the value chain, and you can position yourself and you can grab your opportunity now rather than tomorrow, because the future is very bright. I thank you very much, and over to you, Ronald.
Great, thank you so much, Chariton, for that expose on the opportunities for organic agriculture within the country. I believe for a number of us, it was news, the opportunities which are there, the fact that the market is big and growing. Also the fact that Uganda is one of the leading players in this space of organic farming, which places us in a privileged position where we can be able to grow in this sector. I think for the listeners on the call today, it is heartwarming to know that this is a space where there is room for expansion, room for growth, and you highlighted a number of opportunities that exist, and for me that was particularly exciting. So at this moment we'll get into a Q&A to engage Chariton on a couple of the questions. Please feel free to put up your hand and ask your question. There are a couple of questions, Chariton, which have already come through in the chat box. I'll ask those, and then we'll take a couple of rounds, and hopefully we can be able to wrap up at 1:30. Now, I think let me see if there are any questions in the chat box. Please do put up. If you raise your hand, I'll give you an opportunity. But for starters, I think there is a question here, a number of people saying thank you for the submission. But Chris Bossa asks, as a new organic local poultry farmer, what procedures should I take to join the organic international market? What are the qualifications to be a member of the Organic Farmers Organization? I think, how do I qualify to be a member of NOGAMU? And then what requirements are needed for one to qualify as an organic farmer? I think that is Bossa's question. You could address that. Jennifer is also dealing in poultry. Stella, I need to join the dried fruit group so as to benefit fully. Can you link me up? I think that's Stella's question. The team from Rutical has been sharing a number of messages. I think it would be nice if they share with us a couple of details. I'll give them an opportunity to do that. Then we also have a question here from I think this is Roger. Roger is saying, thank you so much for the presentation regarding organic markets. Under the market, Elgon Coffee and Honey Cooperative Society, we got certified 3 years ago, but we have been unable to sell. It's very expensive. I think the certification process, after getting certified, how to reach that sale, possibly Chariton, you can address that. That's a question coming from Roger. And then we have Colin. Collins Tugume is export sesame and soybean from the Outspan Agro Processing. Great. Yes, and then Bossaf continues to ask, what qualifications do I need to join the Nogamo Academy? That's a question specifically from Bossa. You could address those. Let me see if someone has raised the hand. If you have a couple of comments to make, you could do that. I don't know whether the team from Rotical is on the line. I think the person is Hans. Don't know whether Hans is in position. I think Hans has posted a couple of comments. I will ask if he could. Not seeing Hans here. Derek, you can help me find Hans so that we can give him an opportunity to speak. Chariton, you could address those questions as Hans prepares to come and tell us a thing or two about Rotica.
Excellent. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the very interesting questions. And again, these speak to the interest that you have expressed or that you have in being part of the organic movement. I think I'll start from Bossa, Mr. Bossa, who is a poultry farmer and he wants to know how to get into the organic market for poultry products. This depends, Mr. Bossa, it depends on which kind of, let's say, chicken or which kind of poultry you're involved in. Is it for egg production or for meat? There are products, a whole range of products that can help increase, egg production, boost immunity in the birds, but also help the birds to gain weight in a record time with less, convert the feed in a better way, in a more efficient way that helps them to gain weight. So there is a higher feed conversion ratio. And again, you have to know which market to target. Usually, poultry products are not so much interesting in the international market, especially if you're very small. We have a huge demand locally and regionally that could help in offsetting, let's say, small quantities of egg or chicken. And for me, that would be your go-to market, and we can help you tap into the organic market opportunities within the local and regional markets. Jennifer is also involved in poultry. I hope I have touched on that. What are the qualifications of being a member of Nogamo? There are 4 categories of the Nogamo membership. We have the platinum, they pay 1 million shillings. We have the gold category, they pay 500,000. We have silver, 250. We have bronze, 150. But we also have individuals who, let's say, if there is an individual farmer who is large, there's also that category. And these have different benefits, from networking to market opportunities, participating in events, marketing events, business missions, and so on and so forth. Depending on the category, the packages are different. But you all benefit. And again, there are some cutting, like common points to all the members. Someone is interested in getting into the dried fruit, their question is how would they benefit? They want to be linked. Again, you can be linked as a farmer, you can be linked as a supplier, or we can support you to start your, it's a drying business, fruit drying business. We can give you advice on the kind of investment and the steps that you need to take to establish an organic fruit, drying business. Again, Rutico, I think would be, I would be happy to hear from Rutico. He would share some information on how we're going to work with some of these businesses to help them get started and get into the organic space or the food system space. My friend Rogers from Mountain Elgon Coffee, it's unfortunate that you have not yet joined Nogamo. Let's push this because there is a huge demand for organic coffee and we can tap into some of these existing organic market opportunities. And the starting point would be, joining the organic movement. We can network even within, let's say, Uganda. You not struggle to sell your coffee, but most importantly, as a certified, business, you need to target directly the international market, and we can support that move. Collins is involved into, well, he also wanted to know the qualifications of joining the Nogamo Academy. We will be launching the Nogamo Academy next month, and we'll be giving you more information, but we'll be targeting different categories of members. People that have some background, let's say in agriculture, those ones will be targeted differently. Those that don't have any background in agriculture or even in organic farming will have that category. We'll have students that have just graduated from, let's say, different institutions of higher learning. We have senior 4s, senior 6 dropouts. Anybody that wants to get into farming, degree farmers, whether you're a banker or a doctor, or we'll be having different categories. And in all these, the goal is to make sure that we move you into the space of selling either your produce as a farmer, or adding value, processing, or trading, or exporting. And all this will happen as soon as this launch is done. Thank you very much. I think I'll stop there for now and take one more question.
All right. Yes. Thank you so much, Chariton. Let me see if I can get Hans. Yes, Hans, please, you can just quickly share with us about Rutical.
Thank you so much, Ronald and Chariton, for giving me the floor. Yeah, we're really excited about contributing to the organic movement in Uganda by building businesses that are designed to change the food system. Rutical is currently looking for 40 talented entrepreneurs to become founders of the businesses we will be building together. So just to be clear, we are not looking to work with existing businesses or teams, but we are really looking for organic champions, individuals, people that are willing to work with us to design businesses from scratch and join us on this journey of building food system shaking businesses. So we will work in 3 stages. The first stage will be a 10-day food system leadership course in collaboration with Nogamo, I'm sure, and where we will really train people on all aspects, organic agriculture, but also business and entrepreneurship, and so on. And we will together conduct an analysis of the food system in Uganda to identify key challenges and opportunities. After that, we will spend 3 months on moving from that understanding of the food system and the problem to developing solutions to address those key challenges and opportunities, and building business models to make those solutions work. And then by the beginning of next year, we will co-found 6 organic enterprises. We will inject them with a startup capital of 20 to 40 million Ugandan shillings, and we will continue to support them on their way to transforming the food system. So that's our process, and I would really invite everyone to have a look at our website, rutical.org, see if this is a good offering for you, and apply before Sunday next week, which is our deadline. And then we really look forward to working with you and looking into your applications to strengthen the organic movement in Uganda together. Thank you.
Super. Thank you so much, Hans, for sharing about Rutical. And yes, those of you who are interested in seizing that opportunity, I think Hans has shared a link in our chat box. Please go ahead and make sure that you register. There are a couple of more questions, Chariton. Yes, Wilberforce is asking, is there any possibility of joining Nogamo? I think the answer is yes, but you will comment on that, Chariton. Fred Kauma asks, can an international buyer be part of the PGS? I think Chariton, you'll address that question. Wills is asking, glad to be here. Thanks for the informative session. Or it's a note of appreciation. Rita Natukunda is says thank you for the insightful presentation this morning. I happened to visit some certified organic farmers in different parts of the country. Just to ask a few questions. How do organic farmers currently manage pests and diseases without synthetic pesticides? I think, yes, Chariton, you can comment on this. The pests, how do the organic farmers manage pests? And then how do they manage to weed? What innovations are being conducted in the field of organic agriculture? Yes, that's a question from Rita. Chariton, you will address that question. I see Madame Elizabeth says, wonderful presentation. Thank you. Chomhendo Jocelyn is asking, are you having any organic rabbit meats? Is there any organic rabbit meat space? I think she's into rabbit farming. Yes, Alistair Taylor, Mr. Taylor, glad to meet you. So it says, thank you for the presentation. We're very happy to have you here. Robert Magala is, what does it take for a smallholder to be an organic farmer? What does it take? I think you have touched on that, but you could possibly add to it. Elizabeth asks, where can one find a directory of organic agriculture stakeholders? That's a question from Elizabeth. There are a couple more here. I would be happy when you share with us some of the documents for free time reading. Yeah, I think some reading material or a link to the website of how we can join Nogamo and the qualifications. Julius Masaba has, Julius says, the Global Alliance for Food, for the Future of Food is excited to announce our call for applications and COP23 engagements and travel. If your organization is actively working on the critical intersection between food systems and climate, you can be able to join. I think a link has been shared by Julius. Please go ahead, and that's an opportunity, I believe, also in the space, especially if there is an intersection between food systems and climate change. Yes, Hans has shared a link there. Then there's a question here from Jennifer. A question from Julius. There is a paradox in the organic agriculture campaign. Many of these US, UK, European countries advocate for fertilizer use to boost African agriculture, like International Fertilizer Corporation. But when you grow the food where you use the fertilizers and harvest to export to them, the same country is just saying it's not organic. So I think, Chariton, you will respond to Julius's question. Says sometimes there is a push to use the fertilizers from the organizers mentioned, but again, it doesn't qualify to be organic. So how would you address that? That's a question from Julius. I see a question here from as a Nogamo officer, what do you tell such fertilizer donating and promoting organizations in those countries? And what do you tell their country's organic food representatives? I think that's the question from Julius. Possibly we can take those. Let me see if I have a hand up. Yes, I don't, I think, have a hand up right now. Yes, Chariton, you could take that group and then we could possibly have time for one more round.
Thank you very much. Again, the questions are a clear reflection of the excitement and the interest that the Ugandans have for organic. I consider this to be a privilege for us as an organization, to to go an extra mile to support all Ugandans and those that want to get into this organic space. And I just want, before I answer the specific questions, I just want to commit that we are available and we'll do everything possible, and we'll explore all partnerships to ensure that all the needs of the people that want to get into this space and make money are met. Quite a number of questions on Nogamu membership. How does one join? Is there a link? I think this was from Rita. Is there a link that one can use to get, to apply for membership? Yes, you can. You can visit our website, www.nogamu.org. www.nogamu.org, and you can get a lot of information on organic agriculture. But you can also send us, I dropped my email contact and telephone numbers. Let me just put it up there again. No, I think. But you can reach us directly. You can call me. You can call any of my colleagues. My number is 0786 248 201. 0786 248 201, and we can have a conversation. PGS can an international buyer buy PGS products. We have seen some buyers from the Middle East especially that have expressed interest to buy PGS products. Because, I mean, there is a lot of trust, especially
Chariton,
in the
you
way
could possibly share what? Chariton, what is PGS in full? Sorry for the listeners.
Yeah, PGS is participatory guarantee system. Participatory guarantee systems are locally focused verification systems that guarantee organic integrity, and they are participatory in nature because it takes the participation of farmers themselves who are growing, let's say, organic products or are involved in poultry or dairy or any other enterprise, together with extensionists or trainers, local leaders who are based in the communities where these farms are located, and then the buyers who are interested in this product. So if a buyer, for instance, in the Middle East can come and be part of the verification exercise along with the other stakeholders here, of course, they can trust that this product is coming from a certified source. And in that case, it would be easier. But in terms of formal and what is currently recognized internationally, is that for international markets, one requires to walk down the route of third-party certification. And that is offered by internationally accredited certification bodies that will come and do the audits and issue a certificate as evidence that your practices or your operations are in compliance with the organic standard. And we hope that in the future, even the PGS products will be accepted internationally in the formal organic markets. Now, very quickly, someone is wondering whether there is organic rabbit meat. We can evolve this value chain. What we have discovered in the past is that some of these products that are certified organic were never given focus or attention 10 years ago. But as more and more consumers started demanding, we then intentionally started working with the different actors to develop that value chain. So I know there is a lot of activity around rabbit keeping, and there's been a lot of promotion for rabbit keeping. But in terms of having certified organic rabbit meat, this is not there yet, that we can work towards that. How can a smallholder farmer be certified organic? They can be part of a group in which case they would be certified third party as part of the international export-oriented value chain, or they can be part of the participatory guarantee system, which would obviously see them attain certification against the local standards or local market. And then someone, I think called Rita, has traveled around and visited some farmers, but she's wondering how they manage pests and diseases. Now, farmers who are organic have the capacity and they have been trained on how to make their local concoctions for managing pests and diseases. But now here is an opportunity, and which I find as a major breakthrough, that in addition to what farmers know and what they do and in an effective way, we now have companies that have invested here in Uganda, and they are locally based here, in manufacturing affordable, certified, and effective products, a whole range of products for managing pests and diseases. I could mention more than 15 right now as we talk. And there's a lot of innovation around this. And I have used some of these products myself, and their testimonies coming from many of the farmers that have used these products. You can apply a fungicide, you can apply a pesticide, you can apply different products for crop protection that are fully certified organic and are effective and yet more affordable. We've seen that some of these inputs are 40% cheaper, and in a few cases they are more expensive. We also have a company that at some point in the past had made an attempt to produce organic herbicides for managing weeds. But one point I would like to emphasize here is that we have farmers who are big farmers and they are managing these weeds, and it is possible. We have pineapple farmers. Just 2 weeks ago, I visited a big pineapple farmer in Luwero, in a place called Bambolode, down there. He's got over 300 acres. And you know what? He's done a comparative analysis, a cost-benefit analysis to look at the cost of managing weeds conventionally or with herbicides, and the cost of managing weeds with humans organically. And he has found it cheaper. 300 plus acres of pineapples. He has managed better with the organic, and it's less costly, the organic means. So it's easy, it's possible to manage. I know it can be difficult in some cases, especially when you're not well established in the market. But once you hit the market and you know where to get some of these inputs, you can manage. Now, let me quickly, where can one, okay, I think I did touch on this. The paradox. These companies or countries that are promoting the distribution of synthetic fertilizers or inputs, but at the same time, simultaneously and contemporaneously are the same people that say, organic products are the best. It's a paradox indeed, as you said, and I think this was Julius. We have done everything possible, and this is our strategy. We share information on the options that we have and the opportunities and the benefits that accrue to actors in the organic sector in terms of having a strong market opportunity, but also in terms of sustaining your business operation or being part of a community where you will gain more compared to others where they are using all sorts of conventional production means. So in terms of profitability, it does make sense to do organic, but also in terms of market access and sustenance, you cannot go wrong with organic inputs, with organic farming. You cannot go wrong when you're part of an organic value chain. And we have seen many of the farmers that have succeeded, that have been around and have have earned, significant, income over the last couple of years, have been part of the organic value chains. And we've seen exporters that have succeeded and that have, endured all sorts of shocks, that have defeated all sorts of situations that have, kept others out of exporting. Many of these are organic exporters, and that is a clear reflection of the fact that this is the go-to, sector. Thank you very much. I hope I've been able to answer most of the questions raised.
Thank you so much, Chariton. I think there are a couple more. We'll have just one extra round. We have a question here from Collins, and he talks about spraying for malaria. Sometimes farmers' products are contaminated during the spraying. What could be your role in fighting this as an organization, and how can they be able to manage it best? I think Collins is referring to the fact that sometimes there are spraying campaigns from Ministry of Health to fight malaria. However, this may kind of contaminate the tools and the material, the products of the farmers. Miriam,
Great. Can I answer that one right away?
Yes, let me just give you Miriam's, and then possibly you can address them together. They're just a couple.
Ronald, are you still there?
Saying let me give you Miriam's, and then you can address both of them.
We still have lost Ronald.
Can you hear me? Huh? Oh, sorry, Chariton, can you hear me?
Hello, Ronald.
Right. Can you hear me, Chariton, now? All right, sorry, I think we're having a connection problem. Chariton, can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can hear you. You're loud and clear.
Okay, super. Let me just give you Miriam's question, and then we can possibly, you can answer both at the same time. Miriam says, thank you so much for your presentation. I'm interested in vegetable commercial farming, specifically in the category of greens. What market can I look out for, and is there any advice you can give me? That's Miriam. Miriam, so you could also address Miriam's question. And I think Bosa is asking where your offices are located in case they want to be able to reach you. Great. A lot of people saying thank you for the presentation, from Moses, from Annette. Annette is still asking, how do I join Nogamo? I think Annette has just joined, but you could address those couple of questions and then we can wrap up.
Excellent. Again, permit me to thank all of you for these questions. And again, some of them have sort of been asked earlier, especially for those that have just joined. I touched a bit on the membership, but maybe let me first share information on where we're located. We are located in Kansanga, on Gaba Road. If you know where Seroma is, the hardware shop, just at Seroma, there's Olympia Close. So we are located on Olympia Close, just about half a kilometer from the main road. And you'll find us there. You can visit us anytime. Feel free to reach out to us and whatever questions that you have. Someone is interested in vegetable, commercial vegetable farming. Yes, it's possible. We have many people in this space already that we can link you to for inputs, organic seedlings, and many others. And we can work towards getting you into the market. There is one member, I don't know whether he managed to attend, but his company is Sulma Foods. They are working on a number of seedlings for for vegetables. That could be a starting point, but also in terms of learning how to grow crops and seeing it in reality could be one of those that we could organize for you to visit and learn directly from practitioner. I think I have, membership, and I think that's the last one. Membership, how can you join? There is an application form you can fill. You can find it on our website, www.nogam.org, www.nogam.org, or you can call me or call our admin so that they can send you directly. And the number of our admin, one moment, Rose Nogam, 0788. You can reach out to Rose, 0788 128 484. She'll share all the information and all application forms for Nogam membership. 0788 128 484. Or you can visit our website, download the form, fill it, and then send it over to us. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Chariton. I think you could place those numbers. You can just drop them in the chat box also. The numbers, your contacts, the email, and then the website, you can just type into the chat so that those who missed them can be able to get them. I think there was a question on spraying for malaria by the ministry. Please do address that one. And I think there was also a question here whether government has tax exemptions for farmers importing value addition equipment, and if so, how can they be accessed? Possibly you can just talk about whether there is. You talked about the policy being passed recently. Are there any tax-friendly regimes that exist for especially people who are getting into organic farming? Great. I will possibly you could address those and then we can wrap it up.
Now, on the issue of controlling malaria using chemicals, I just want to give you a short background and to demonstrate that we have been working very closely with government and perhaps would have had worse contamination or difficult situations where, let's say, even the certified farmers would be simply decertified for contamination of their operations. But because of this close working relationship with government, we've been able to reach what I call the middle ground. And in many cases, we've seen indiscriminate use of chemicals that that potentially contaminate the organic operations, and they do not only affect organic farmers, but they also affect other farmers. I have personally had a conversation with the Ministry of Health and the Permanent Secretary of Health, Dr. Diana Trine, and through our advocacy efforts, we're trying to have a conversation how we could find alternative ways of managing malaria. But I want to say that in the past, when government, for instance, used some of these very, very bad chemicals like DDT, we had to seek court injunction and we ended the spray of DDT to control malaria because what we had found already within that 1 year when they sprayed was that over 20,000 farmers who had been certified organic and had been in the organic oil seeds value chain for more than 15 years were decertified and they lost their livelihood because they found traces of DDT in their season. And those have never come back to the international market. So you can see how bad it can be and how damaging and detrimental it can be the livelihoods of the farmers, but also the health, because DDT is one of those chemicals that were banned. So we've got to engage and dialogue and work very closely with all actors. And as I said, we through our advocacy efforts, we're working very closely with the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Health, to find better ways of managing these issues. And then the issue of tax exemptions. In general, all exports have some tax exemptions, and that's why many of the exporters, of course, especially those that are involved in value addition, there are many benefits of doing value addition in terms of having some tax exemptions. We are working very closely with URA, Uganda Revenue Authority. Is one of our key allies, key partners that we're working very with to make sure that we pass on this information to our members and to the public. We'll be having a stakeholder consultative meeting coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think on the 28th of June, where we'll bring together many stakeholders, and URA will be one of the key participants. So we will make sure all this information is passed on to you. But in the interest of time, I would like to again register my sincere thanks and appreciation with all of you for these very important questions that speak to your interest in the organic space. But also, I would like to add that I'll be available, and Nogam is available to support you. We have platforms, we have networks that will help you to get started and hit the ground running. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Chariton, for that sharing. You have enlightened us about the possibilities and the opportunities in this space. I think as he has mentioned, as Chariton has mentioned, please engage. Nogamu is an umbrella organization. It can link you to who you are looking for. But more importantly, for those of us who are asking ourselves, can we be able to join this space? It is a good opportunity for us to say, can we consider this version of agriculture, and to be able to enjoy the benefits that Chariton has so ably shared. So a big thank you to everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week, every Thursday at exactly 9 o'clock. We have our business recovery series. Please do take time and join us again. I will share with you this presentation and the link and the recording will also be available on our YouTube channel for anyone who may have missed. A big thank you. Have a lovely week, and all the best in your endeavors, in your businesses, and in your families. May we keep pushing. May we keep growing our businesses. Have a lovely rest of the day. Oh, sorry, Chariton, please do just type that your contact into the chat box and the contact of the contact person at Nogamu.
All right, I'll do that now.
Thank you.